Welcome back to our channel. We are the Shepherdacks, and we're so happy to have you here in our newest old home. This is a home in the Georgetown neighborhood of DC that we've been renovating and showing you the journey from the very beginning. And we just got here checking on the house, and we found a little water.
I am taking care of it. Always something. Water is a really big problem because water goes everywhere. And we have electrical done in the house. Have you seen the electrical yet, babe? Mm-hmm. Allie, when was the last time you were here?
I have not been here since all the electrical stuff has been done, so maybe you can show me, tell me, and show our friends here.
I'm going to surprise you with something.
Okay.
Where are the outlets placed?
It's very exciting, but it's not new information.
Okay, tell our amazing audience that wants to know why this is so exciting.
Because it's a more sophisticated aesthetic to have it horizontal and as part of the baseboard.
Yes! That way, the outlets are going to be flat covered in white, or we're actually going to paint the outlet covers exactly the same color as the baseboard, and our goal is for you to never notice an outlet. Okay? I've also gone through deep anxiety.
Okay.
About the number of custom brass light switches we ordered.
Okay.
Do you remember those?
Yes, I do remember those.
We might have a whole episode on our custom brass light switches. Anyway, so these light switches have a 4.5 month lead time and are on back order.
We already ordered them.
We sure did, which means whatever I ordered needed to be the exact amount of what we needed because we're not going to get any more.
Okay.
Unless we want them next year, like a year from now.
Okay.
So we had to do some quick outlet revisions of where outlets were going and not going, and actually reduce the number of light switches in the property because I may or may not have under-ordered the number of brass light switches.
Okay, so which light switches did you sacrifice?
Hopefully, you don't notice.
But just tell me.
But if you don't know, you
I'm really curious.
Okay. But you know what? If you live a life where you just kind of don't know and it didn't matter, I think it should be left a mystery.
Okay.
And if you go to turn a light
ask.
switch on and it's not there, you're gonna think of me.
Okay.
You're gonna think of me.
I hope you picked the basement.
The good news is that there is enough brass light switches for the entire apartment house.
Okay, so it's just the ADU.
Yes, but there were sacrifices made in this house as well.
Okay.
That's gonna be good though.
Okay.
And maybe I'll get you one consent.
Do they all have a dimmer?
No. Do you want to know which one's dim? Okay, this
I
is
want
how.
to know which ones don't dim.
This is so dramatic. Okay, so for the audience, okay, this is what's very important. Dimmer versus non-dimmer is normally not a big deal, but when you have like the custom switches that we have, there's a knob that turns. And it's not like we can make the other switches dimmable or not dimmable. It just goes on and off. You have to order a whole nother switch for the dimmer. So do you want to know which one?
Yeah.
Do you want to know which ones are dimming?
I feel like this might be a better conversation for not being on camera, but
They're there. There.
which ones don't dim? I hope they're closet.
Do you want to cover what is dimmable?
No, I want to cover what's not dimmable.
There's most of it's not dimmable, so it's easier to know.
We need to have this conversation separately.
Oh, okay. Well, it's on camera.
I want dimmers everywhere. So the reason for that is because layered lighting creates like a softer, more welcoming experience. There have been studies shown that like places like McDonald's, they like to get people in and out as fast as possible. So what they do is they have uncomfortable seating. They have really bright colors, so like red and yellow. And then they also have really bright lights. But if you go to like a nicer establishment, a nicer restaurant, it'll have really comfortable seating. It'll have softer lighting. And you can just feel like you can stay there comfortably for ages, losing track of time. And so that's what we want when our friends are coming over, and that's what we want to experience ourselves. Like Jason, think about
I was also thinking, we're so not tanned. I mean, we could add enough lighting where we can get a free suntan.
Like think about if you ever stay at a nice hotel and there's turn down service, they never have the lights up at the max capacity.
Who would want that?
Right. So, and layered lighting is important. You want to have like your primary lighting.
I have one word for you.
Your accent
lamps.
Lighting. And then your lamps, which also layers in more lighting, which can be on dimmers too. So that's the thinking here.
So again, going back to what is dimmable, this dining room light here will be dimmable.
Great.
And we could potentially tie in more lights to that dimming switch as a solution.
Okay, great.
You have a separate switch for the main entrance light as well. And then you've got the chandelier here, which is on a dimmer switch. So you could technically, to set the mood, have these recessed lights off, have the chandelier on, and you also have some unique lighting, don't forget. You've got a custom light fixture above the sink. You've got a custom light fixture above the built-ins. The built-ins also have lighting, and then you'll have lamps in the fireplace.
Okay.
The only trick is, so our current house, for example, we have light switches that are plastic with like the dimmer switch on the side of each individual one. The new switches we have only have an on and off function. And to make them dimmable one, it's a whole separate individual casing with a curved knob. So well, again, we're gonna table this, but we're painting the picture for the audience today. Okay, we have no dimming downstairs.
Okay.
Okay, but we do have dimming upstairs.
Okay.
So you've got 4 recessed lights,
Okay.
not on a dimmer.
Okay. I still feel the same way.
Even our camera person was like, ooh. Okay, the grand chandelier here. Do you remember how big this is? Let me show you. Our chandelier is this big.
Okay.
It's uber ginormous. On a dimmer.
Okay, nice.
It's on a dimmer.
Great.
Yeah, it's on a dimmer. Now in the primary bathroom, this was very challenging. This is where some sacrifices were made. You're gonna have a switch for the fan and a switch for the toilet. Then you're gonna have a switch which is on a dimmer
Okay.
for the wall sconces and the chandelier.
Okay. Nice.
So fan, light, fan, set the mood dimmer, lights.
Okay.
Nailed upstairs. So electrical, we learned a lot with electrical. And the big thing too for everybody to kind of think about is this is the time when you really only have the opportunity to decide how you want to live. For example, like running extra outlets in a kitchen island, really big one. Or one thing that people miss, if you want custom cabinetry and you want like, one thing I have custom clients do a lot, which we did not do in this house, is like a phone charging drawer where you pull out a drawer of a kitchen cabinet and you've got electrical outlets inside the cabinet so you can put your phone away and charge it inside there. We did not do that because of limited storage space, but these are all major considerations. The last thing, which was when I tell you I made like 4 revisions, the light placement, guys. And finding symmetry throughout the entire property is very challenging when you have basically bulkheads, which are HVAC lines, recessed lighting, chandeliers, and also venting, all happening in the same ceiling. And so one thing that we've done to prevent all of that from being complicated is we actually put venting on the floor. So you'll have your perfect perpendicular recessed lights, chandelier, without having any HVAC vents, because if you've noticed, we've preset our HVAC vents on the floor, which, maybe a win, will have a custom wood inlay
I love that.
to match the color of the floor, so you won't notice it.
Beautiful.
Husband point coming, working my way back up to the top.
So that was a recap.
Electrical.
Everything that we've done electrical. And I think, what are we going to talk about next? Our next episode, we'll talk about where we stand on design. We picked out some paint colors. We need to...
Big, bold paint color choices.
Big, bold paint color choices.
We're going to talk about the difference in trim. We're also going to talk about saturation, which is when you paint an entire room, all surfaces, baseboard, trim, and ceiling, all one color, and what we're doing with that.
And then we need to make some decisions about what is wallpaper and what isn't.
Yes, and I think we have very different opinions on that, so stay tuned. I think we do. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for watching.
Oh.
And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. We really appreciate your support, and let us know what you'd like to see more of. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.